Next up, the season of college commencement speeches is upon us, and every year there's one or two which stand out above the rest. In 2015, the Rhode Island School of Design called upon someone who'd been suspended from high school, expelled from college for smoking marijuana, and has had more than a few run-ins with law since to offer advice to graduating students. Here are a few of those words of wisdom.
Today may be the end of your juvenile delinquency, but it should also be the first day of your new adult disobedience. Contemporary art's job is to wreck what came before. Is there a better job description than that to aspire to? Here's another trigger warning, and pardon her signing. Go out in the world and it up beautifully.
Who is that guy? From that speech was born his latest book, Make Trouble. It's John Waters' guide to wrecking the establishment from the inside. Joining me now is the man known as the Prince of Puke, the Pope of Trash, the People's Pervert. He considers that compliments. Director, screenwriter, actor, and author, John Waters. John, it's good to see you again.
And a man that can never wear a hat.
Well, I was just going to say, you
God,
look
that
fabulous.
hat. Oh, that hat. I look like a fuel.
You were a man born to wear a tassel. Let me just
No,
say,
I hate a hat.
You know,
you'd think with this hair I'd be wearing one every day.
Very fun.
Yeah.
My guiding principle is any book you can read in 10 minutes is a book worth reading. Would you?
Well, you can't shoplift. You can read it in the counter where you're waiting to pay if it's a busy day in the bookshop.
What do you call it, a book ad? Is that what you call it?
I call it a book ad, yes.
Okay.
It's no greeting card. Don't dare call me that.
The only thing that is odder than you, in my opinion, being asked to be a commencement speaker is the fact you probably didn't even attend. You didn't attend your own commencements because
they
you never
wouldn't let
got
me-
that far, right?
I didn't graduate from anything.
What happened in high school again?
High school, they wouldn't let me graduate because my hair was too long.
What
and
happened
I
at
failed
NYU?
two subjects.
And you
NYU, pop bust. Junior high, well, they didn't have graduation. In grade school, I had issues, but they let me graduate.
What were those issues, if I
Well,
may
that I
ask?
was obsessed by rock and roll in 1956, which was definitely in a private school. You weren't supposed to do that. And I loved Elvis Presley, and I used to call the record stores and make top 10 lists like an insane person.
So was this your first commencement or no?
That I'd ever been to? No,
Yeah.
I taught in prison once, and I was the speaker. But we had
At a
commencement.
prison commencement?
And we had a full commencement speech with a cookout in the yard of the jail.
Who was the valedictorian? Do you know?
No, I don't remember who was. They didn't bring in like a famous criminal, you know.
I
like-
got a
like,
famous criminal.
you know,
Okay, fine. So-
somebody freshly on parole. No.
Did you do what I assume when were you nervous when you did this? You don't seem like a nervous
No,
kind
I
of-
wasn't that nervous because I speak so much. I go to colleges all the time with my spoken word show. I have a Christmas show, so I wasn't that nervous.
So you didn't read
except that hat.
Vonnegut and Steve Jobs and David Foster Wallace like everybody else does? You
No,
didn't
I
do that
read.
kind-
I did watch David Foster because I want to see how long it was.
And what did you
know?
think of it?
I thought it was good. I thought his
great.
was good. Yeah.
So can you reduce from 10 minutes to like 1 minute? What was the major theme to the RISD kids?
Is that don't be afraid to ask for anything and don't fear rejection. If you're going to be in the arts or any kind of creative field, you're going to say no, 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 no until one person says yes. And then that's all you need. It's like hitchhiking. Same thing in my last book. You only need one car to stop. If 5 of them stop, there's an accident.
Were you always rejection is hard for most mere mortals.
Well, I didn't like it, you know. I mean, I remember, you know, I built a career on bad reviews and I made fun of it, but I remember like A Desperate Living when it came out and I read this little thing in Variety. It was the first review and it said Amateur Night in the Psycho Award. I thought, oh, come on, I was hoping for a little better than that. But then we put it in the ad. We just put Psycho Award.
And there it goes. So here's another little piece of this. It touches on an issue that to me is really the essence of healthy living. Here it is.
Listen to your political enemies, especially the smart ones, and then figure out a way to make them laugh. Nobody likes a bore on a soapbox. Humor is always the best defense and weapon. If you can make an idiot laugh, they'll at least pause and listen before they do something stupid to you.
Do you practice what you preach? Can you talk to your political enemies? We had Nick Kristof here the other night who just wrote a piece where he said in the New York Times that, hey, you Trump haters should listen to Trump voters, and he got the most vicious email ever. I hate them. They should die.
No, I keep thinking that must be Trump supporters. They aren't even cute as rough trade. You'd think they would. You know, they're kind of blue-collar kind of guys. I keep looking for a cute one. And I try to find the one funny thing that Trump ever said. And it was when he called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas.
You like that?
That was funny.
She
But
loved
she's
that too,
never
by the way.
funny. And I really agree with everything she said, but I've never heard her be funny.
No, she's not like a laugh-a-minute kind of
not
woman.
a laugh
How'd the
riot.
parents feel? I can understand the kids at RISD loving you. I can't understand the parents.
Parents
loving
like
you.
me because I speak to them. First thing I say, these entitled brats, do they think you're made out of
And they're
money?
nodding
They all
and agreeing.
cheered.
Exactly,
They
they
all
do.
cheered. And I said, give your parents a little chance to understand new things, like that you have to call sexual reassignment, they have to learn new pronouns, that you just got horn implants. That's a tough thing when you come home from school. Or, you know, my friend has a girl that she sent to a very expensive college, and she found out they have no report cards, and she's majoring in folk dancing in New Guinea. You know, it is kind of hard to understand.
So long before you wrote this little book, Ed, I'd actually watched your speech.
Yeah.
I know it went viral. Zillions of people
Yeah.
watch this. So I assume you've been invited back a million times.
No,
to
I have not
commencements.
had one job offered to do
Not
a
one.
commencement speech.
Not
yet.
one.
Not one.
So what does that say to you exactly?
I don't know. It would be hard. I would like to do another, but I have to top it. You know, so it might be anticlimactic.
Yeah.
You know,
a couple of minutes ago, we talked to a couple of women about 3 men in the news. I'd like to get your quick reaction. You mind doing this?
No,
I
who
think
are
it's sort of
they?
like one of those, whatever that thing's called. Bill O'Reilly went on vacation last night. What do you
I
think?
guess so. Well, I guess he went to the beach where there's more grabbing going on. I don't know. You know, to me, I couldn't stand him before. So that he did that.
So you won't miss him when he's gone.
No, I never watched I don't watch it because I'm not a masochist, you know. But I understand that in a way, Rachel Maddow, who I like, is equally the other side.
Exactly.
So I yearn for Walter Cronkite, you know, where somebody that just deadpan tells you the news.
You know he's dead, by the way.
I know that, but
Okay, fine.
Yeah, but I saw him up to the end. He went to every Broadway opening. I always
Is that
saw
really true?
Walter Cronkite at every Broadway play.
Was he a fan of
And
yours?
He was. I don't know, but he was my idea of famous.
Yeah.
You know,
Sean Spicer.
poor thing. You know, he has the worst job in the history of. He must hate Trump.
But that's
I
sort
mean,
of charitable to say poor thing.
Well,
no?
I do feel that poor thing because he won't last, and he is a national joke now. And he tries. You see him every day. He does try,
I know.
and then he realizes I just said the stupidest thing I've ever said in
I
my
don't think
life.
he does realize.
Yes,
Dr.
he did.
Dow.
Yeah.
Dr. Dow, if you don't, he was
Which
the
one's
guy.
he?
He was the guy pulled from his seat.
Oh,
Pulled-
him.
Reaccommodated, I guess. What do you think of that?
A rich man.
A rich man,
The lawsuit that he will get. And that stomach showing, he'll get $1 million more for that.
He probably will. Now, before you go, I was just thinking, as I'm looking at you, and I was looking at you closely, like almost everybody did. Well, I was.
It's been a long day.
The one piece of advice you don't give is, you don't. Doesn't everybody want to know how you do that?
Well, I wrote about it in my last book. How it's equal. You shave it every day. You use scissors on the bottom, and use Maybelline Velvet Black to fill it in to help. It's called a pencil mustache.
You have to
no
do that
one
every
had
day?
this mustache that didn't use a little help, unless you're the swarthiest person, like Zorba the Greek's great uncle.
Before you go, what do you think about Donald Trump?
Well, what do you think? I think.
Well, I don't know what you think of it.
Pence is much worse.
Yeah.
And Pence's wife is even worse.
Did you read the story about them in the Washington
He
Post?
calls her mommy.
I
He's
know.
an adult baby. That means.
Exactly. Hey, Make Trouble is your book at your fabulous commencement speech at RISD.
Thank
John
you.
Waters, it's great to see you.
Thank
again,
you very much.
As always.
Thanks.
The great John Waters. The book again is Make Trouble, and he does.